I'd like to call the July board meeting of the Lafourche Parish School Board to order. We'll go ahead and begin with an invocation by Ms. Leslie Wells, District 8, and the pledge.
Loving and gracious God, we joyfully thank you for another day to do your will and to serve your magnificent people. Bestow upon us divine discernment to do what is best for our beloved school district, as well as the ability to lead with courage, confidence, and heart. Further, we ask that you keep all employees, students, and families safe as we plan for a new August. We humbly ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Wright? Here. Dr. Gia? Here. Ms. Babbitt?
Here.
Ms. Fertitta?
Here.
Mr. Duplantis? Here. Ms. Bourgeois?
Here.
Ms. Marlborough?
Here.
Ms. Wells?
Here.
Ms. Sharpenchik?
Here.
All present.
All right. Item 2, awards and recognition. A, to introduce the new district administrator, Mr. Jeremy, physical facilities manager, and we'll have Mr. Martin.
Absolutely. So I think everybody here knows Mr. John Sheremy. He's not new to the school board. I met him. He was still working for, I believe, the Ballinger family, cutting trees on side my house. And then I was lucky enough to have the district hire him to be running our maintenance department for the last, how long? 3 years already. 3 years he's been with us through some trying times. And now he has been selected to serve in a new, more expanded capacity as the land and facilities manager in spite of the condition of our current facilities. Quite a courageous task, but he's quite up to it. He's got here with him tonight his father and family, and we want to celebrate the promotion to John Sheremy, of John Sheremy to the new land and facilities manager.
Thanks to Martin and LaFawn for taking a chance on me twice now, because I come from out of the district, right? Although class of '84 South Lafourche. And I'm very thankful for my wife Missy and my dad Gus for being here. And when you get to the point about after go enjoy the meal and everything else while you're here, I may sleep out. And I'll roll my sleeves up tomorrow and I'll get to work.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. B, under awards and recognition, we have the Lafourche Parish School District student, staff, and group recognition, which is also going to be Mr. Martin.
Okay. So tonight's award, I believe Dean is going to explain what we're doing here tonight. There's only 2 students. Oftentimes, we have a room filled to capacity on nights like tonight. Tonight we have 2, and I think when we read the criteria to be here tonight, it'll be readily apparent why we have 2. Who's reading it, Kenny or Mr. Delcom or Dean? Go ahead, Mr. Delcom.
Okay, so these 2 students are being awarded the Superintendent's Award. This achievement was earned by both of these students for earning all A's for each 9 weeks or each year from kindergarten all the way through their high school graduation. Very rare feat. So that's why there's only 2. Very difficult. I would not have won this one. Our first student that we're recognizing for this outstanding achievement is from Thibodeau High. It is Miss Macy Thibodeau.
Awesome.
The second student this year winning this award from Central Lafourche High School is Miss Nicole Gidger.
And now the part with the chairman was talking about. So the restaurants are open in the city of Thibodeau. Go and enjoy unless you want to stay and watch the meeting for the two fine ladies that were receiving this award tonight and singing you, Mr. Chairman. Take a
I'll
little
stay
bit
for a
later,
little
going
while.
out and bring it down. Thank y'all. Congratulations.
All right. Item 3, approval of board consent agenda. A, approval of board consent agenda items. B, minutes of regular board meeting held June 7th, 2023. And a motion by Ms. Fertitta, seconded by Ms. Charpentier. Any public comment? Any board discussion? If not, we'll vote. So I'm hearing from the back that motion does pass. Okay. Item 4, approval of business committee recommendations as per meeting held June 21st, 2023. Ms. Fertitta?
Yes, A, to adopt the 2023-2024 salary schedules as presented to be effective July 1st, 2023. So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fertitta, seconded by Ms. Wells. I would actually like to make a motion to amend that. I would like to make a motion to strike out the statement in the salary schedule that says that we taking to suspend all performance pay for fiscal year 2024, which would mean that we would be adding that performance pay back in for the upcoming school year. So can I get a motion to amend the motion? So that's motioned by Ms. Bourgeois, seconded by Ms. Wells. So I'm thinking we have to do a hand vote on the motion. Sorry, I apologize. Any public comment? Well, wait, don't we have to have a vote to amend? We need to comment first. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure we don't miss any steps. Any public comment on the amended motion? Again, that would be adding this employee performance pay back into the salary schedule. No public comment. Any board discussion? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Marlboro?
Why was this not done beforehand? We know we have the board compensation coming up, and I don't want it to look like we're just doing this to try to appease people, because there is staff that is very upset. And so I would like to understand why we're doing it now, why it wasn't done in committee.
It's my understanding that we had discussion with Ms. Ortiz, and we looked at the financials, and we felt like we could do it. We could afford to do so. So that would be my answer to your question. I mean, budgeting and everything, July is the end of a fiscal year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Ortiz, but I think that it's because we can.
Up until the end of the fiscal year, we were not positive we would have enough to do, reinstate the performance. Now we realize we do.
Ms. Charpentier?
I just want to say that I'm sure the rest of the board agrees with me that I'm grateful to see this being reinstated, and I know that we're going to have a lot of happy teachers when they get this great news. So I'm glad that we're able to do it.
Anyone else? Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and vote on the amended motion. The amendment, right, the amendment, sorry. Verbiage. All right, we have to go ahead and do a hand vote. So all those in favor of the amendment, say yes or raise your hand. And that is unanimous. So there are no nays. Okay. All right. Continuing on with okay, now we go back to computer vote, though, right? All right. So let's go ahead and vote on the motion as amended. All right, public comment on the motion as amended. No public comment. Any further board comment? I'm sorry, y'all. This is a new one for me, so I'm making sure that I'm following all the steps. All right. If not, now we'll go ahead and vote. Thank you. I appreciate it. And the motion passes unanimously. Now, we'll continue. Item 5, approval of Land and Facilities Management Committee recommendations as per meeting held June 21st, 2023. Mr. Duplantis.
A, to approve a request from Our Lady of Promsacur Catholic Church to waive the fees for the use of facilities at Jack Bay Elementary School for the religious education program. Classrooms, cafeteria, and library would be used. The requester would be responsible for the $300 damage deposit and custodial fees. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Fertitta. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Yes,
I just have
ma'am.
a clarification question. No timeline, do we know? Is it all school year? Is it?
It is, and in fact, we have Mother here, if you could answer that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so the program ordinarily runs from the couple weeks after Labor Day, so mid-September, all the way through the first week of May. It'll be every other week, so 1 day a week, every other week, looking like Monday is the day that we had agreed on. Yeah,
Same day?
so every other Monday is what it'd be right now for roughly 5:30 to 7, something like that, 5:30 to 7:30. So, yep, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? If not, we'll vote. Okay, motion passes.
Item B, to approve a change order to add $16,416.91 to the contract to demolish and remove 2 portable buildings at the rear of the site of NLES. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Ms.
Just a
Petita?
clarification for those that may not know all of LaRose, North LaRose Elementary School. It's not a new school yet.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Okay, let's vote. Motion passes.
Item C, to approve a change order to add $3,000 to the contract to remove and reinstall millwork on walls scheduled for gypsum board replacement and to credit the contract $7,760 for omitting the removal of vinyl asbestos tiles to SLHS for South Lafourche High School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Bourgeois. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Motion passes.
Item D, to approve a changed order to add $8,211 to the contract for the replacement of 5 wood doors with peeling veneer at South Lafourche High School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Charpentier. Any public discussion or comment? Any board discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Oh, we'll have a hand vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. That would be unanimous, so that would be 0 nays. So sometimes when we have a little issues with board docs, so if we need to do hand votes, we'll just go ahead.
Item E, to approve a change order to add $27,621 to the contract to add quartz flooring to the project in lieu of installing the owner-provided LVT flooring at SCES for St. Charles Elementary School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, second by Dr. Giat. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I had asked this question, I'm just saying so everybody knows. First, we discussed this a lot in committee, so we're kind of just walling, and I want the public to know that's why we're not talking on. But this one is a lot of money, and it's justified, because we do spend more money on getting the floors stripped and then re-waxed, and if this cuts maintenance down, then it's worth the investment, so.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, we'll vote. We'll go ahead and hand vote. All those yeah, raise your hand and say aye. So that's all yays, no nays. Motion passes.
Item F, to approve a changed order request to add $3,059.10 to the contract to add additional asbestos abatement to room 206 of Building 1 of, and this is at Cutoff Elementary School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, second by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board discussion? If not, we'll go ahead and do a hand vote again. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that would be all yays and 0 nays. We're getting good at this, y'all. Good job.
Item G, to approve a change order to add $2,531.10 for additional backfill after T building removal due to large hole near the sidewalk. And this is at Golden Meadow Upper Elementary School. So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Mr. Wright. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, if not, we're gonna try to vote online. Motion passes.
Item H, to approve a change order to add $7,731.90 to contract to repair damaged conduit that runs across the roof at Building Number 1 at GMUES, which is Golden Meadow Upper Elementary School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Charpentier. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, let's vote. Motion passes.
Item I, to approve a change order to add $3,757 to contract to replace 6 window panes at LKUES, which is Lockport Upper Elementary School. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board discussion? If none, we'll vote. Motion passes.
Item J, to accept the high bid in the amount of $4,500 annually from Lance Nazio for hunting and fishing privileges on Section 16, Township 18S, Range 20E, Bully Camp area. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Duplantis, seconded by Dr. Giat. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Motion passes. Item 6, new business. A, to consider approving the Lafourche Parish School Board Student Code of Conduct. for the 2023-2024 school session. We'll let him speak and then we'll get our motions.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Fields. Sorry about that.
President Gavin, Mr. Martin, members of the board, our discipline committee met last week to review our discipline code of conduct, which we're required to do annually. There were no major changes to this year's code of conduct. I think everyone has a copy of it. Hopefully you have an opportunity to review it. And I offer for you to consider to make the policy.
Can I get a motion? Motion by Ms. Bourgeois, second by Ms. Fertitta. Any public comment? Board discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thank you. I know you guys work hard and have all those committee meetings so that it can be done properly, so thank you for that.
Greg actually chaired the committee.
Okay.
Wasn't able to be here.
Well, I also want to thank you guys. I was the board member representative on the committee. It was well done. You guys were able to answer all of our questions, and we really do appreciate you. So thank you very much. With no discussion or no comment, we'll go ahead and vote. Okay, motion passes. B, to consider adopting a resolution authorizing the sale of the FCC license WXL by private sale and further authorizing the superintendent to execute the sale documents on behalf of the board. Mr. Martin?
Thank you, Madam President. The recommended action is to adopt a resolution authorizing the sale of the FCC license WXL by private sale and further authorize the superintendent to execute the actual sale documents on behalf of the board. And I will give you a brief overview of what this is about and why I'm asking you to approve this. Central Lafourche High School has had an FCC license for many years. That license was leased out to a company called Utopian many years ago. Utopian has been leasing this license from the school board, as Central Lafourche isn't actually an agency which can hold legal property. But the license was under the high school's name. Utopian buys up these bandwidths for hope of future sale. And they had purchased this license with the intent to, in fact, sell this as the licensing rules change. And sure enough, the licensing rules did change. And now this bandwidth that Utopian was leasing from the school board, which was school board property, now has value to cell service providers as bandwidths are needed to provide cell service to its customers. So long story short, Utopian and the school board are 50-50 partners in the sale of an FCC license. The license is scheduled to be sold for $1,190,000. The school board is going to be the recipient of 50% of that. So just short of $600,000 is going to be coming to the school system for the sale of this FCC license. So it was with great zeal and great happiness that I recommend you allow me to enter into this resolution, and Mr. Amity will finish up the details of solidifying this sale actually to T-Mobile from Utopian and the school board on behalf of Central Lafourche High School.
Motion by Ms. Fertitta, second by Dr. Guion.
We all want to say.
Any public comment? Any board discussion? Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and we'll vote. Okay, motion passes. Okay. Item C, to consider approving a change in board member compensation.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Duplantis.
I was the one who presented this to the board for consideration. At this time, I motion to table this item.
Okay, I have a motion to table the item. A second by Dr. Giat to table the item. Okay.
So point of order.
Yes, sir.
A motion to table take precedence over any other motions, and
Right.
debate is only led into whether to table or not. There won't be debate on the major motion
Okay.
as it is. But again, it's not supposed to have debate, but at your pleasure, you are welcome to have debate about whether tabling it is appropriate.
Okay, so we will
That's up
have
to you.
discussion on whether to table or not to table, not on the actual item. Okay?
Right.
Any public discussion on to table or not table the item? I do have a blue card for you, but since we're tabling the item, we're only gonna hear discussion on whether we should or should not table.
That's fine.
Okay, just make sure your comments are in line to that, please.
Yes, ma'am,
We're
President.
gonna go ahead and have a timer. Okay,
Now
please.
now that your table is gonna take 1 minute.
It's okay, I just wanna make sure we do all of our,
Okay, thank you,
processes.
President Babin. Now it's,
Can you please state your name?
Ron
since I
Sopke,
didn't read it?
110 Bourgeois Street, Grayson, Louisiana, 70394. I was the only member of the public that was at the advisory committee about this item, and I thought about tabling it. I thought about tabling it myself. And I'm happy that Mrs. Duplantis is tabling it, and I hope he tables it until the teachers get their pay raise, because that's what the taxpayers voted for. And that, according to my sources, that's gonna occur in September. So I move that hope that you will make a motion and vote in favor of tabling this item.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Please state your name and your address for the board.
Councilman William Adams. Oh, come forward.
Come on down.
I only have one word,
Come on down.
January. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any further public discussion on tabling the item? Okay. Any board discussion on tabling the item? Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ms. Fertitta.
I would like to just add that I think it's wise that we're tabling this item because Mr. Duplantis and I were the only two members that were on the board at the time that the board decided to do away, to cut our board compensation in half. And when it came up to vote, there were only two of us that voted against it. And that was because we didn't think it was fair that they did that to the people who had already qualified. This happened at the November meeting, and the election was happening in November. And so I just want to give you a little history of it, why I think it's a good idea that we table it now, but for further thought. So I felt that at the time that it was unfair for the people that had qualified to run, thinking that they were going to be compensated the $800, which had been the board's compensation for years. And I didn't think it fair to those people. And so I was one of the two that voted against it. And the other reason that I voted against it was that I felt that it was I knew that this was an attempt to stop the board from going down to 9 members, which is something that I had always proposed since I got on the board. So I felt that that was just a feeble attempt to do that. Well, it did pass, but as I've been thinking about this, I've called some of the parishes, and all of the parishes that are our size have their board compensation is what the state says that you can get, and that is $800 a month. The smaller parishes, I called one parish that had 4 schools with 2,100 students in the school, in the whole system, and they get $400 a month. So that is another reason that I feel that, that it's a good idea that we might think about it and bring it back up. And since we redistrict, we have almost twice as many constituents in our districts. We have almost twice as many schools and twice as many students. So we're one of the largest boards in the state, and we have many more schools, and so which is something that is fair. So even though it's being tabled, I'd like for if it does come back up, for people to consider or think about what has been unfair to the board members that came onto the board, and there are 3 of you that were there, that came onto the board thinking that your compensation was going to be one thing, and then by the time you got on the board, it was half of that. So just something to think about, and hopefully later on we will bring it back up and people will consider. And by the way, this is in the budget. It's not part of the sales tax, the sales refunding that we did. It has nothing to do with that. This comes strictly from the general fund. So it does not affect teacher salaries. It does not affect anything. So just my thoughts. Thank you very much for letting me do that.
Ms. Marlborough has a comment. Again, as I reminded Ms. Rotita, please keep it to whether or not we're tabling.
So, we talked about that meeting in 2018. I actually watched that meeting. And in that meeting, it was never said to be a reinstatement. They talked about increase, and they talked about allowing the board next year to make those decisions if they wanted to take an increase. And it was entirely up to the board to do so, which they obviously did not. And I feel that this was a good decision on Mr. Duplantis' part, because all of us in here knew we were going to only get $400. And I'm okay with that. But it was in policy.
What does that make a difference to me?
In this current election, we knew what we were walking into when we walked in. And I feel that we're here for the right reasons, and it shouldn't be about money, and I think Mr. Duplantis made an excellent decision this evening. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Ms. Bourgeois?
I just want to say
About tabling or not?
tabling, yes. During this time that we are tabling it and considering many factors, I'd like to hear from the teachers and the public. I will always support teachers. I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. I will always be a teacher. And I hope that this is a chance for teachers to support us. We always support them, so let them support us. I'd like to hear that from them.
Anyone else? Ms. Wells?
Remember
About tabling or not?
Tabling, yes. I had a lot of contact with people in my district about tabling this. And I did receive overwhelming majority of people were in favor of us tabling it. So I just want to thank everybody who did reach out to me. A lot of them were are employees of our school district.
Remember tabling or not tabling?
Yes,
I'm just
ma'am.
trying to be consistent, that's all.
Absolutely. So myself, like Ms. Wells, have heard feedback from our constituents. And I would just like to state publicly that we do hear you. We're here to work for you. We're here to support you. And again, we hope that you are here to support us as well. We go way above and beyond our scheduled meetings. You know, this is a call of service, and we are definitely listening to the people who are thinking that the timing is inappropriate. And I hope that in the future we can revisit this at maybe a more publicly perceived appropriate time. So I just wanted to express my support for the people that we are here to represent, and we do hear them. So I think tabling is the appropriate action for this evening.
Any further board discussion? If not, just to remind you, we are voting to table item 6C, which we'll go ahead and we'll do a hand vote. The vote is to table the item. We've already called for public comment, so I'm going to ask, since we're doing the vote, I'm sorry, we're going to go ahead and do the vote. Hand vote. Everybody in favor of tabling the item, please raise your hand or say yes. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mr. Wright, you are also a yes. Okay, so that would be 9 yeses, a no, and that would be 0 nays, correct? Right. The item will be tabled. Agenda item 8, agenda item 7, memorial resolutions. 8, Orrin Rogers, retired superintendent, Ms. Charpentier.
Mr. Arden Rogers was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on August 24th, 1962, as a science teacher at Golden Meadow High School. He also served as a science teacher at Golden Meadow Junior High School. In June of 1968, Mr. Rogers was appointed as an assistant principal at Golden Meadow Junior High School. In August of 1977, Mr. Arden was selected as the principal at Golden Meadow Upper Elementary School. He was later promoted as a district supervisor in the transportation department and filled that role from July to September of 1980. Supervisor of vocational and secondary education from October of 1980 until July of 1984, and then supervisor of the federal reading program from July of 1984 until June of 1985. From June to October of 85, he served as the acting personnel director. In October of 1985, he resumed the position of supervisor of federal reading programs until his appointment as the assistant superintendent on October 2nd, 1986. On August 1st, 1988, Mr. Arden Rogers was selected as superintendent of schools for Lafourche Parish School District. He served as superintendent for 4.5 years until his retirement on December 16th, 1992. Mr. Rogers served the Lafourche Parish School District for 30.5 years. And I would like to personally say that I knew him we went to the same church, we're friends with himself and his wife. And he was just a man of service and just dedicated his life to the people of Lafourche Parish and the students and the education of those students. And his service is definitely appreciated, and he is certainly missed.
Yes, and he was a superintendent when I was teaching. And I have to tell you that he was truly, he liked to have a lot of fun, but you could trust, when he made a decision, it was a decision. And he was always fair and open to talk to people. And I appreciated having the time to be able to know him and his wife.
B. Alexandra Abear, student, Charpentier.
Elijah Eli Alexander Smith was enrolled as an 8th grade student at Golden Meadow Middle School. He was the son of Miss Cheryl Baker. Eli passed away on June 12th, 2023. He was 13 years old.
And that was Elijah Smith, student. So now we're going to go ahead and we'll read Alexandra Abear, student.
Alexandra Patsy Abear was a 5th grade student at Golden Meadow Upper Elementary School. She was the daughter of Miss Mary Bourne. Alexandra passed away on May 24th, 2023, and she was 11 years old. I would like to also mention that Alexandra's older sister, Destiny Bourne, also lost her life in the accident which claimed Alexandra's life. Destiny's a former student of ours, and I just would like the Bourne and Abear families to know that our thoughts and prayers continue to be with them at this difficult time.
Mr. Melvin Mathern, custodian. Melvin Mathern was hired by the Lafourche Parish School District on June 18, 2018, as a custodian at Bayou Blue Elementary School. He served at Bayou Blue Middle School until July of 2019, when he transferred to the new Bayou Blue Upper Elementary School. Mr. Mathern passed away on June 22, 2023. Mr. Mathern served the Lafourche Parish School District for a total of 5 years. Mr. Duplantis?
Okay, I had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Melvin since my wife taught at that school. And every morning at 6:30, he was backed up in his same parking spot, put his window roll down, and I dropped my wife off and be with Mr. Melvin every day. So when we built that school, or that new school, I had to go apologize to him for building something so big and beautiful. Especially with the 3 big wings, and I asked him if he actually had help because he was going to need it. So, beautiful man, and great stuff.
I just want to say that my mom and my family quilt. I Blue Upper had us on the 21st of June. Doing a quilting demonstration. Mr. Melvin was there and helped us set things up. And so the day before, he was actively working and cheerful, and so I know he's going to be missed. And from this encounter,
found out later from my mom that he's actually related to me. So, I know his family will listen to this very soon. Thank you very much. I move that these resolutions be adopted by general consent and that a copy of the resolutions be recorded on a special page of our minute book.
With no objections, let the record reflect that these resolutions were adopted by general consent and will be recorded on a special page of our minutes. Item 8, tentative dates for future meetings. A, Policy and Academics Committee, Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. B, Business Committee, Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. C, Land and Facilities Management Committee, Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. D, Board Member in Service, Wednesday, July 26th, 2023. E, Regular Board Meeting, Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Before we ask to go into executive session, I know Ms. Jamie had something that she'd like to add, so if you want to go ahead and do that real quick, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we took nationals again in 4-H shooting sports, so I want to applaud the team. It comes from all over the state, and there was a young man from our parish, Mr. Parker Richard, and he placed in the top 10 individually in sporting clays, in the top 3 as team in clays and skeets, and hey, we're number 1 again. So I think that's a pretty good accomplishment out of 42 states. So way to go, right?
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, item 9 is executive session. So to consider entering executive session to review the cumulative evaluation of the superintendent for the spring semester of 2022-2023 school year. In accordance with policy CEI, evaluation of the superintendents, and revised statute 4217A1. So I have a motion by Ms. Bourgeois and a second by Mr. Duplantis to go ahead and go into executive session. So we're going to go ahead and document the time. All those in, we have to do a hand vote, right? Hand vote, not a computer vote. All those in favor of going into executive session, okay? That would be 5 yeas and 0 nays. So we did 9. No, I'm so sorry. Okay, we are entering executive session, and I'm documenting the time as 6:40. Yeah, you're right.
So she looked at the time and was like, wow, did you?
I don't
You got the time?
I got it. I don't know. Okay, so everybody knows.